Namaste everyone. I'm Dr. Madhav, radiologist. My warm greetings to all of you from Bengaluru. For some time now, I have been weighing a few thoughts about the ways of bringing medical fraternity much closer to the community. I also come across individuals who make significant contributions that enhance the lives of others. I wanted to introduce these success stories around us to you all. The best way to do this would be directly hearing from them. So, the idea behind this series of interviews is to recognize and celebrate each success around us. These are the people who toil their lives with the goals to make this world better. These are the common heroes who matter to us and who made the difference. These are the people who would prefer to be identified by their deeds, the ways they were achieved, and the values behind them. Welcome to my show, Life Scan with Madhav. Let us celebrate success with values. Hope this would inspire many more amongst us. Namaste everyone. My warm greetings to all of you. Welcome to new episode of Life Scan with Madhav. We have heard of pediatrists, we have heard of bone specialists, we have heard of pulmonologists, the lung specialists. But today we have a special guest who has blood on her mind. She is a hematologist, the blood specialist. Welcome to you, Dr. Sangameshwari Hebballi.
Thank you.
Dr. Sangameshwari has an impressive personality with diverse interests. But what connects instantly is the fact that she's a cricket buff. To begin with, Sangameshwari, let's start with cricket. So, you prefer to follow men in blue or women in blue?
Well, I have always enjoyed watching the games played by both Indian women in blue and Indian men in blue. I would say that it has not been fair on the women over the years, as they have had less opportunities compared to the men who have enjoyed over the decades. Times are changing. Our women have come a long way, and it's looking so positive. In the last few years, they have reached the finals in the World Cup, reached the final in Commonwealth Games. So they have made us more proud. And in last year, 2022, when men had a not so great journey, women were shining. If you remember the T20 World Cup in Commonwealth Games, and also in January 2023, our women in under 19 World Cup, they won the trophy for us, and what a treat. And there was plenty of buzz due to the Mankad by Deepti Sharma, which took the cricket world by storm. So there is plenty that is happening in the women's cricket. And I would actually go for Indian women in blue because they have not received the love and recognition they deserve. And when they are out playing in the field, I actually see myself in Shafali Verma, Deepti Sharma, and Titus Sadhu. I feel like I'm playing there. When I feel it, it makes it even more special. And yes, every time it'll be Indian women in blue.
That's good, Sangameshwari. To add, in fact, even I'm a fan of Shanta Rangaswamy, not only as a cricketer, but as well as a commentator, Shanta Rangaswamy. And this year, at least in 2023, you're going to bet on Indian men to lift the trophy?
Yes, always support cricket, men or women. Yes, when the World Cup is happening so well and in India is hosting, so far they have been consistent. Yes, hands down, Indian men in blue.
Then second tough question, I have it for you. So if the match is being played at Edgbaston, you're going to root for England or you're going to root for Indian team?
India always. Supporting a team that you are passionate about, I think, is a personal thing. it could be, an Indian from India supporting India, or an Indian in any other overseas countries supporting in India. It is a very personal thing. You might see the English fans supporting England team when they have been living in Australia, New Zealand. And so many Indians support teams like Chelsea Football Club and Manchester United Football Club. So it's kind of something they are passionate about. They should be able to express how they feel and support whoever they want.
Yes. Irrespective of the field, I guess emotions play a lot of role, including sports. In fact, recently I was looking at a statement made by one of our former cricketers who said the coach of Indian national cricket team has to be an Indian because they bring a lot of emotions. Even I could sync with his thoughts. So emotions do play a role. And now, Sangameshwari, you are into sports. Do you play cricket or do you play badminton or anything?
I play badminton, table tennis. So these are a few games which help me to distract myself from, a busy work schedule and, have that work-life balance. It's kind of a mood booster as well, which gives you a chance to interact with your friends. And, it's kind of a skill in its own way. It helps you to focus on something different. It's kind of relaxing to your mind and body.
Yeah, you said mind and body. Just to extend the conversation and the badminton, again, I was reading a short note, in one of those news portals, where one of our last matches, our star PV Sindhu had a sort of ill-tempered match with her rival. A lot of heated exchange, anger. So, what do you think about the role of anger in the court, in the pitch, or in the ground? Is it really in the spirit of the game, the anger?
I think a certain kind of a positive energy is one way to see anger as. But again, too much of anything is not good. It takes away the focus. You might wonder, if PV Sindhu would have been able to play a better game if there was no emotion of anger there. Again, there has to be a little control over some emotions so that you can focus on the game, because it's very easy to get distracted when it is too much of any particular energy.
So you are for sledging or you are against sledging?
I think sledging in a little cheerful way is good, but sometimes it can push one in a wrong direction, and the outcome can be quite distressing.
I agree. That reminds me of one of the discussions during one of the earlier cricket matches. Good example for a banter. Probably a batsman was trying to poke his bat for everything outside the off stump. Then the bowler asks him, "Did you play your cricket in childhood at Edgbaston?" So maybe these kind of banters are better than the verbal exchanges which are quite heated.
That's right.
Secondly, it's very easier to see the good things. For example, art. All of us, we enjoy looking at good artwork, or it's quite easy, easier as well as interesting to see greenery around us, flowers around us. But to cultivate an interest and pursue it with passion, takes a lot of energy. So I want to hear more on your gardening interest, Sangameshwari.
So gardening is something I took up as a hobby because I needed something which involved to dedicate time away from work or studies. So it started with having indoor plants where I could spend maybe about 15-20 minutes every couple of days, and that kind of extended when we had a house with a bigger garden. I think it's a very refreshing and rewarding hobby to have. When I'm out in the fresh air and sunlight, it gives you that kind of happiness. It's a mood booster, and for me, it's kind of character and personality building type of a hobby as well. I have understood the benefits of patience, hard work, and positive attitude. You have sown seeds and bulbs in the winter months, October, November, and waiting for those few months to see a beautiful garden with colorful flowers is a treat to your eyes. And this kind of experience or has its application in my practice as a hematologist, where I have to deal with patients with cancers like lymphoma, myeloma, leukemia. I have to take them into confidence, support them through a long, lengthy course of treatment for this cancer. It gives me that confidence as well, and to show them the light at the other end of the tunnel. So it helps me in my profession.
Whoever stays quite close to nature remains happy, no doubt about that. But you added a newer dimension. You said it makes you confident. I think that's a big message, Dr. Sangameshwari here. Would you please tell us, how did you pick this hobby and probably the initial nuances on this gardening?
As I said, when I started working here in 2002, I needed some kind of a distraction. So basically, England is a very cold country, and during the winter months, which is quite long, from October all the way up to March, there's not a lot positive you can be busy with. So it started with houseplants, reading books. But I think, when you are actually looking after the plants, it brings you a little more than, what you get out of books. So it was more interacting. There's a caring nature to it. And once I had a really good hang of looking after the plants, it just got extended to outdoors. And then, I started having more experiments with sowing different types of seeds, learning more about plants. And, you have to be a self-educating and learn more about the plants in a different country. These flowers or plants are very new to grow, because we haven't come across such ones when we were in India. So I had to learn about these plants by going on internet, and luckily I bumped into this website called Royal Horticulture Society, which is like an encyclopedia of plants, and it tells you about the type of soil, the amount of sunlight and shade the plants need. It helps you, gives you a guidance as to choose the right plants for your garden. And yes, there were a few ups and downs. Not everything that I tried worked out, but eventually I realized there are only a few things that can be done, and it's come out quite nicely for me, and I have been enjoying. Sometimes some of my friends call I have green fingers, so which is a nice compliment.
And slightly deviating from the topic, you said that Royal Society. I mean, can you tell us, how often and why often we hear that word royal for most of these organizations and societies?
I think it is more historical. Basically, the British royal family has got a lot to do with it. And I think there was this royal charter, which kind of, looks into the governing and rules they have to abide by. For all the public bodies. For example, you have institutions, universities, and other organizations. Royal Society of Physicians, Surgeons,
Exactly.
and many things of that sort. Some hospitals are also called, Royal Hospital of those particular cities and towns.
Would you please show us some of the flowers or some of the plants in your garden?
Sure.
It's beautiful. So which is this garden? Pretty huge. So it's a front garden or?
This is the back garden. You can see the greenhouse at the far end with tall trees, around the lawn. The front here is part of the patio garden. You can see the ornament. So that's my daughter and son having a piggyback. So these are the tiny shrubs in the flower beds of the patio garden. So my husband enjoys lawn mowing, and the rest of the garden is my responsibility.
Interesting.
And then this is one part of the patio garden. You can see this is a pyracantha, which is an evergreen plant. So most plants in UK are deciduous, where they lose their leaves during the autumn months and are just bare branches and tree trunk in winter, which can be a bit depressing. So I'd like to have something evergreen. So this is pyracantha, which comes out with some golden berries and then white flowers. But what's more, attractive here is this plant, which I have circled. It's called clematis.
Okay.
So clematis, as you can see, it's kind of bunches of flowers. It's kind of forming like a curtain on the wall. So this is also called as leather flower due to the texture and the feel you get when you touch it.
Leather flower.
And leather flower.
Interesting.
It's also called as Indian traveler's joy because you get the flowers during the spring and summer, that is July and August. But at other times, during the dull gray winter months, the plant has got plenty of beautiful seed heads. So you see them growing on the hedges, on the walls and banks in the countryside. So people usually enjoy walks, get to see this beautiful plant, and it's a joy whoever looks at it. That's what
it is called Indian traveler's joy.
Indian traveler's joy. That's correct.
Interesting.
So this is called fuchsia. As you can see, these are like dark pink reddish flowers, which are like hanging, dangling. And you'd be surprised what the common name for this is. This is called lady's eardrops, which looks like, dangling earrings.
I can appreciate that.
And then we have got osteospermum. So they come in different colors, yellow, white, and dark pink. So it's another common name for this is Cape daisies or African daisy due to its origin from South Africa.
Okay.
It is actually an ornamental plant for landscape garden. So the next one I have is called campanula. You can see these beautiful tiny flowers which look like bells, and the common name is bellflowers.
Bellflowers.
That's correct. So it's actually a name derived from Latin called little bell, and they come in purple, white, like very faint pink flowers as well.
Nice.
Okay, so finally I have this one. This would be of interest to those in the medical field. You can see that it is got like finger glove shaped flowers. So this is called foxgloves due to the shape. You can actually insert your fingers through those flowers, and because of the color purplish, they are called as digitalis purpura. Digitalis like fingers and color purpura. And the word digitalis actually, immediately takes you to the drug called digoxin, the one that is used in heart medicine. Actually, each and every part of it is poisonous, and so you have to be very careful with children around.
It is one among the commonly used, cardiac drugs. Makes heart stronger. Probably that is one of the reasons why you have a lion heart or a lioness heart, Sangameshwari.
That's a nice compliment. I take it. So yes, you have to be very careful about this one, particularly when you have children and pets at home. So this, you would be surprised what it's called in Sanskrit. It is called til pushpi because of the spot, til.
Tila pushpi.
That's correct. Til, which means mole, like a pigmentation.
Interesting. And what are the other interests, Dr. Sangameshwari, other than gardening and of course our instant click cricket? What are your plans? What are you exploring to learn more in the coming days?
Well, yeah, recently, I had an opportunity to organize a charity event because I love to do some voluntary work. And that helped me, to build up on that little interest of mine. So this is a charity event that happened a couple of weeks ago through the Veerashaiva Samaja UK. So this is a registered charity which was founded here in UK in 1988 by a few families from North Karnataka who migrated to UK. In the 70s and 80s. It was one way of, socializing, but it was also an opportunity to, provide some kind of support to certain services back home in Karnataka.
Great. And also it helps probably to, stay connected with your roots. And
Definitely.
that will help, one of the things always as we advance is to find an answer to the question, who am I? Probably these activities do help you. And yes, you were referring to, the name of the flower, Tila Pushpi in Sanskrit. So any interest in Sanskrit for you?
Always, learning or hearing about Bhagavad Gita, it's kind of gives you a sense of pride. And as part of our school education, I never got a chance to study Sanskrit. But yes, Sanskrit is something that, is a language I would like to learn. It is one of my aspirations. It's very hard to find the time, but, when there is a will, there is a way, they say. So hopefully, in the very near future, I should be able to find some time and learn Sanskrit. And I think understanding Bhagavad Gita will become a lot easier.
Interesting. And you said you have been a part of those Veerashaiva community charity activities. So what else it includes? I also heard that your team did some work in organic farming. And also, would you please tell us on that?
That's correct. As a part of Veerashaiva Samaja UK, there are events happening twice a year when we meet at different venues in UK. It is actually some way of participating to raise funds. And it also is voluntary work. Recently, after one day event where we raised quite a lot of funds, the second day was a Seva Day at a Ahimsa farm here, very close to Birmingham. 40 volunteers took part in it. It involved digging the ground, taking out the weeds, mixing cow dung with the soil and creating a vegetable patch so that, we are able to plant some saplings. Eventually, we should have organic food after a few months. So in this particular farm, there are 2 cows, and it's so rewarding to, feed the cows. Cows, yes. Okay. So akala. So, looking after the cows is kind of a very, fulfilling experience. We have to massage, as you know, the cows are actually affected by the insects. They are when they're out and about in the fields, and they cannot scratch themselves. So, we as carers have to help with that particular aspect, and massaging the cows, hugging the cows, and feeding the cows is a kind of a very fulfilling experience. It benefits both the cows as well as us. Children enjoyed working on the farm as well as spending some time with the cows along with their parents and grandparents. it was a grand success and had a really positive feedback. The money that we raised, we actually donated some to this Ahimsa Farm, and there is a plan to donate other funds to services in Karnataka, which is actually in the final stages to happen.
Great to hear, Dr. Sangameshwari, on these activities as well.
Thank you.
And how often you visit India or Karnataka?
Well, every time I visit India, it's mainly Karnataka to meet my family in Hubli and Dharwad. So I actually make an effort to do once a year. Sometimes it might not happen during COVID times. It was 3 years gap when children have got some crucial exams and work experience during summer holidays. It's not possible. But I aim to make it at least once a year.
So what are the changes, particularly from the development point of view or the positive part of it? So what are the easily discernible changes you could notice in India? You having stayed away from India, probably it's quite easier for you.
I definitely see a lot of changes. A place where I live, there is a ground that we have to pass through to get to the school, where I have seen our neighbors walk by. And when I happened to be in that playground, I think this was in 2017 holidays when I came over, I could see that they had a couple of desks where they were actually inviting the girls to come and enroll themselves to join the cricket coaching for girls. If you remember in 2017, when Indian girls in blue performed so well to reach the finals, and were the runners-up in World Cup ODI. So that was a positive change. You can see that the cricketers actually inspired a new generation of girls to take up cricket. I think that was a positive thing. We have seen lots of boys playing cricket in the gully cricket, street grounds. It had been dominated, and I think for me in 2017 that was a big positive change. I will never ever forget that.
Then when the mood of the country is more positive now.
Definitely. And, politics is being talked about in a positive way. Everywhere, you think about Swachh Bharat, seeing some like rubbish bins placed in public places like parks and tourist places. So that's, again, a positive change. When I'm traveling around in Bangalore, the metro has made traveling so convenient, saves you, plenty of hours, which would have been spent on the road. Traveling by car is just a nightmare in Bangalore.
One contentious question I have, Dr. Sangameshwari. Do you think cricket is getting undue attention at the cost of other sports? Or maybe athletics, or maybe the things have changed in the recent past. We're getting more number of medals both in Asia as well as Olympics.
Yes, I think there is a for and against about cricket, you could say. Well, we have to give credit to 1983 when Kapil Dev and his team brought glory to the country by winning the trophy in the World Cup. So when you actually hear about it, and it's a vicious circle, so many positive things are happening, and your country is put up higher in that global map. It's a game that does not require a lot of infrastructure. You can modify the game according to whatever is available. You can play cricket in the corridor or room of your house, in the street. So something that you can play, watch, and when a talent gets noticed, you easily can enroll yourself into a coaching center that are readily available. So this could be one standard example for other sports to build on. You need to kind of show it. You have to campaign about it so that people will learn more about it, become aware of it, and there should be facilities to actually encourage that particular sport. Yes, definitely, the javelin and badminton, hockey, other games that India is really good at, and we should hopefully see more talent in these sports. But you need to kind of showcase all these sports, make it easily seen and heard by the people.
Interesting. And you recognize 1983 as the tipping point for cricket or the sports is concerned. And as I asked for most of the doctors, you might have had several reasons to be a doctor or to be a hematologist. But in your case, would you please tell us what is the tipping point or that point of inflection where you decided to be, blood specialist, hematologist, which is such a rare breed, maybe in the West and even in India, where we have only, a small number of hematologists.
You would be surprised to hear this. I was actually a patient myself during my adolescence, and that was an inspiration to become a doctor in the first place. I used to get fainting episodes, which only became more frequent with menses. It affected my studies and the games I played. So I had to see a doctor. I was very anemic with iron deficiency. So with simple treatment, like iron tablets.
You said iron deficiency, nutritional anemia. Is that right, Dr. Sangameshwari?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Which was a very, unheard of when I was growing up. And, it came as a surprise that I could be anemic because, I was a very tall girl for the age group and I was very fit and active, but there had been a sudden change in, my academic performance and my energy levels when I played games. So I had to see a doctor and I was treated with iron tablets, a very simple treatment. Very quickly, I got better and my energy levels improved. Academically, I recovered and, was able to get my best grades. So this particular experience or incidents was a turning point, and I decided to become a doctor. Later, during my MBBS, the physiology of blood cells was very fascinating for me. And this particular interest became more consolidated as I did my training in general medicine. When I came across imatinib, a targeted treatment for Philadelphia positive CML, which came along at that time. It was a clincher for me to pursue a career in hematology.
Interesting. And you are referring to fainting episodes. Probably many of us can relate with this, particularly the adolescent girls. And many a time, even the diagnosis is also not established easily, even though it's a common disease. I guess probably many a time it is mistaken as a sort of seizure disorder or something. Is it so, Dr. Sangameshwari?
I think, there is a lack of awareness about this such a common problem. Anemia is a common, is a sign or a symptom, you could say. And iron deficiency happened to be the most common cause of this anemia. But women of that particular age group, particularly adolescents or menstruating women, lactating women, they actually lack iron and hence they are anemic. Worldwide, iron deficiency anemia is the most common one. One could say it could be nutritional, but again, menstruating women, due to the blood loss, they experience more iron deficiency anemia than men. So yes, it shouldn't be mistaken.
Health education really plays a vital role. And I also, I guess iron deficiency has a negative correlation with the IQ. So overall IQ of a society may be impacted because of this iron deficiency anemia.
Yeah, based on my personal experience, there were a year or two when it was a more kind of a effort to concentrate and or be focused in studies. So it does affect the grades, and one cannot at that age understand as to why that could be. And parents are also not aware that iron deficiency anemia could be the cause for this. So it's when there is no awareness, there is always no room to ask for help, and it can be considered as general weakness, or eating cause where you feel nutrition is affecting, but you don't know as to what part of nutrition that needs to be replaced. So I feel that the country or the National Health Service of every country should be focusing on the girl and women health, because if you reduce the anemia, you are actually improving the overall health of the current as well as the future generation. If you have a more healthy population, you have a very productive and intelligent population with a better IQ and physical health.
Would you please tell us, few of the steps you have taken, particularly in India during your short stay here, during your visit to Hubli or nearby places, particularly about the health education for the adolescents? Can you tell us briefly on this?
I have had a couple of opportunities where I was asked to give motivating talks, or in kind of health education talks to the adolescent women in colleges. These are the ones studying 11th to 12th, as well as degrees doing Bachelor of Arts or Bachelor of Science and Commerce. And you would be surprised to hear that there is so much of misconception about health itself. Somebody is lean is considered as not having good health. Somebody being, a bit chubbier or a bit overweight is considered as healthy. I don't think, anyone thinks that how your energy levels actually explain, how healthy you are. And I think, at that point, it was very important to explain, focus, the concentration in studies, and ability to do, common physical tasks easily without getting tired were the, markers to tell you how healthy you are. And, iron deficiency anemia is something to address. If you remember, the Anemia Mukt Bharat scheme is something that I feel everybody should participate in, and show their support so that we can have a better and a healthy population with a better IQ levels. Food fortification with iron and folic acid, and as well as deworming in schools are good steps taken. But I feel that there should be more focus on testing and treating the anemia. The schools and colleges are the places to bring that particular change. Message to the doctors and medical students everywhere is that we dedicate one day a month to do voluntary work to serve the community. For example, in India, we can do health camps through the Rotary clubs and medical colleges where medical students play an active role. One of the two areas that need attention from the hematologist perspective is dealing with anemia. We focus mainly the children and women using a point-of-care testing device. HemoQ hemoglobin is available on the spot. We supply iron tablets accordingly. We educate them to be compliant and arrange follow-up. The other one is that we encourage the students in colleges like medical, engineering, dental, degree colleges, and all other colleges, that they become voluntary blood donors and stem cell donors. And this later can be extended to other age groups. You may want to know why we need stem cell donors. A patient with blood disorder like thalassemia major and blood cancer like leukemia require the stem cell transplant as the only cure. When the siblings are not a match, they need unrelated donors. And finding an unrelated donor, the chances are like 1 in 10,000 to 1 in a million. So we need many more people to join the donor registry so that there is a better chance to find a match for this patient. How could you become a stem cell donor? You have to register yourself, give a cheek swab. The test results are added to the national registry. And if you are a match, you will be contacted. Donating stem cells is a simple process and similar to donating plasma. As a match donor, you make a huge difference to this patient by giving a second chance to live. We are a stem cell donor family, including my husband and my son. You can become a stem cell donor too. For more information, you can visit the website detri.org.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sangameshwari, particularly sharing your thoughts on anemia, because generally the moment we say hematologist, we tend to think of more fatal and probably those diseases which are tracked duly on many occasions, like cancers or hemophilia. But your focus has been on anemia, particularly iron deficiency one. I think that message is very strong to all of us. Again, from my side and from all our viewers, thank you so much, Dr. Sangameshwari, for having joined us.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you on your show. Thank you.
Thank you so much.